Possible Elimination Chamber title match spoilers, plus a released Raw star is making a big wrestling return, and a former WWE star has debuted for Impact Wrestling. It's all in the wrestling news right now. Like someone what likes kitting out cars, got some great spoilers for you, mate. Boom. It's Friday and I'm cooking! Spoilers heading into next Saturday's Elimination Chamber special mega live event. I don't know what they're calling it these days, but WWE have booked Goldberg to face Roman Reigns, as we know, and it looks as if plans for Goldberg kind of come to a screeching halt on the road to WrestleMania after next Saturday. Okay. So it's being reported that Goldberg is at SmackDown tonight, which is at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. They are taping 2 SmackDowns this evening because next Friday they're going to be, flying off to Saudi Arabia, so they want to get it in the can. And after that, there are no other WWE bookings for Goldberg, which suggests that Roman Reigns is leaving Saudi Arabia as Universal Champion. I think if there was ever any wafer-thin doubt that he was, I think that kind of puts it to bed.
Yeah, definitely. I think they definitely want to keep it Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar with the Universal Championship on the line for WrestleMania. I think it would be silly if you took that away from Roman Reigns. However, WWE done it in the past before, having Goldberg come in and take the title off people. But I think personally, for me, Tom, I'm quite happy that this is happening. Goldberg's having perhaps his final match on the contract that he's got at the moment. Have that done, dusted, out the way. No more Goldberg for a little bit. I'm quite happy with that. What about you?
Well, I think it's one of those where, as we've said, not only does it mean that he's not leaving Elimination Chamber as champion, but there are no WrestleMania plans booked in for Goldberg. I'm quite surprised by that.
Yeah,
because what I think about in terms of like what Goldberg brings, he's clearly a marquee attraction because he does bring in eyes who may have lapsed as wrestling fans to see him, and there is some strength in that, especially how WrestleMania is now more than ever about getting those marquee performers on the card. I would have thought Goldberg would have been a shoe-in for Mania. I would have thought that Goldberg would have been somebody that, not winning the title at Elimination Chamber, granted, but to have a match at Mania with Goldberg seemed like something that WWE would be inclined to do. And there's some potentials there. Big E. Has got a lot going on. It does feel like the vibe with creative is that Big E is no longer in that echelon for a match with Goldberg, which really sucks, and you're very wrong. But that would have been a fun match to have had. Yeah,
and Big E's obviously expressed wanting to fight Goldberg as well. A dream match for him.
Slapping meat.
Another thing for me, though, personally, I think if Goldberg got involved, part of me thinks WWE wouldn't let him lose, and that's the thing. And I think if you bring Goldberg back, I think he's got to put over some other talent, because it's about time we start actually building to these other stars instead of kind of giving them the belt and then shooing them to the side a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think it's obvious that Goldberg isn't winning the Universal title a week tomorrow, but I think you've got to give Roman a win over Goldberg here, because Roman got a DQ win over Seth at Royal Rumble, and I feel like you add that little extra bit of oomph.
And this match has been in the works for a long time, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, this was going to be WrestleMania 36. Before the pandemic ran wild instead of WrestleMania, and now we're finally getting that match. And interesting to see what they do a week tomorrow. Lita had a conversation with Ring the Bell, talking of Saudi Arabia, about her match against Becky Lynch, which is a week tomorrow as well. And Lita's been very outspoken in the past about WWE's relationship with Saudi Arabia. So people were very surprised when she was announced to be on the card. Lita said on Ring the Bell, I will say I was outspoken on the early relationship between WWE and Saudi Arabia. Oh, they say they want women to wrestle over there, but I don't know if I believe it. There's no women on the card. There's women on the card now. I've talked to women personally who have been over there. They're like, it's unbelievable. There are women crying, never thinking they would get to see 2 women being so strong in the ring. It's really powerful. You're going to enjoy that. And so, sure, do they have a long way to go? Do we as a society have a long way to go? Absolutely. But you've got to take the opportunities when when they are there. So Lita's making some points to say that the initial relationship with WWE in Saudi Arabia was one that she didn't really bite on and buy into, but we have seen more women's focus. There's a women's elimination chamber a week tomorrow, so there is obviously a concerted effort to do more there.
I was seeing a lot of comments from people about this situation saying that Lita's obviously doing it now just for the money, but personally I don't think that's the case. Personally, I think she was one of the front runners of women's wrestling on TV, and I don't think Lita necessarily has anything left to prove. I don't think she needs the money. I don't think she has anything to prove other than that, like, just empowerment and just, you know, putting things out there for women in such a sort of... Things have started to get better in Saudi Arabia, little by little, but however, it's been regressive for such a long time, I think, and it's only started to see that progression. In 2019, I wrote, because I was looking at it, Saudi Arabia women were able to travel abroad in 2019. That's when it was allowed, and they're allowed to register a divorce or a marriage and apply for official documents without the consent of a male, and that was in 2019. That was not that long ago.
Not that long ago at all.
And I think it's so important to see someone like Lita pushing for things like this, to see, she says, you see women in the crowd and they're like crying and so overwhelmed with joy that they're seeing representation of themselves in a wrestling ring on such a grand stage in an industry that's also dominated by males as well, you know. To see something like this, I think it's an incredible thing to do. And again, like I said, I don't think Lita's necessarily doing it for the money. I think she genuinely wants to help move things along.
I wouldn't turn down the money, though.
No.
Having said that, I don't want to undermine your really, really valid point. I do not want to undermine it, because it's true. Like Lita has clearly taken a look at the scene there and gone, well, there is progression. I'd like to get more involved. Yeah. But the money's also very good.
Well, you know.
So some of the numbers we've seen are like, ooh, hello. But she'll be taking on Becky Lynch, and you know, location aside, I'm up for seeing what these two do. Me too. I think they'll put on a really good match. I like the history behind it as well. Becky just being like, I used to look up to you and everything. And Lita, we saw her in the Royal Rumble, and we've seen her do the Lita assaults, and also she's still got it in the bag. So it's going to be an interesting match to watch for sure. Looking over to the independent scene, where we are seeing a major indie return. See what I did there? Yeah, I did. Major League Wrestling. Whoa, that was good, that. February 10th, MLW Fusion, Killer Cross, formerly Karrion Kross, returns to MLW. He's going to be at Superfight 2022. No opponent announced, but we've seen hourglasses and TikToks. Not TikToks. He's not doing funny dances and miming to songs. We're on TikTok, search Cultaholic. But he's going to be part of the show. We've seen hourglasses and things to promote him as well. Enzo and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Wow. Also appearing for MLW. As well as Alex Hammerstone defending his MLW title against Davey Richards. Should be a fun old night, I do believe. Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to seeing Killer Kross being a little bit more free now, being able to kind of do what he wants to do away from the gimp suit. That'll be good to see. I want to see him unleashed. I want to see him just be all himself and be really aggressive and cool AF. I'd love it if he came out in a helmet again, though. Imagine if he did. Imagine if he did. Former WWE star making their first appearance at Impact Wrestling last night. We're talking Connor from the Ascension. Come on, Connor! I couldn't believe, right, because I was looking on Cage Match. I was like, no way is his name just Big Con now. Big Con! Like, that's something I just say as a joke. Like, oh, yeah, Big Con just knocking about doing all this stuff. What a name. That's something. Did his wife fall for the Big Con? Great, I like it. He lost to Josh Alexander. Oh. Him. But you know what? It's nice to see Big Con. Big Con. Do anything. This so Big Con. All right, Big Con. It feels like his nickname in the pub. Yeah, it does. Like you go into the pub and then your dad's sitting in it, go, oh, all right, Big Con. Right. Walk into a pub in Liversedge. All right, Big Con. We're watching Rumble. Watching Sheamus win the Rumble. Our favourites. Good luck at Big Con. Yes. You're a big lad. More news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Keith. Love you, bye.